Hello, everyone. Welcome to my Ascension Messages. My name is Bobbie, and I will be your guide for today. Today, I'm going to do some channeling and tarot, and it's messages that you need to know. Um, it was really interesting recently. I want to bring up some things that my team have been directing me to. I had a really profound dream last night, so I'll bring that up. And they also brought me to the foot of God, or the foot of source energy. This foot, which was seen by people on a balcony in Thailand just before the big earthquake hit, 7.7 earthquake hit. And the reason why they wanted to bring that up with me is because back in early 2000s, I did a series of these pictures, images, just sketch drawings, and I was actually putting out that I wanted to predict something. So there was a couple of drawings. One is, you might have seen it on my Facebook, and that is of a hand holding an hourglass, and then buildings crumbling and falling through the central bit of the hourglass, and then coming out into a beautiful scenery of hills and trees and nature, back into a natural kind of a scene again. And I also, just after that one, had had drawn this other image, which was a foot. I'll show you what I'm talking about so that you've got a better idea. So this is the foot that appeared in Phuket just before the in the sea, just before the earthquake hit, and these people took this image of this foot, looking massive foot. Those little things in the sea are people, so it was like a really massive foot in the actual ocean. And this is the image that I drew back in 2009. So it was of a foot, like it was like standing. And honestly, when I drew this back 2009, early 2000s, it was about, I think it was about 2003 or 4 or something like that. But when I drew that, I remember thinking to myself, I don't understand fully what this means, but now I do. So this is the message that I got from this. It is, this image is, and I've seen things like this, like fully formed 3D, like uh, faces in the clouds looking at me when we did the sun dance, and they looked so real. And I mean, so real. It wasn't like a face looking at me that was, oh, you can kind of make it out. No, it looked very real. It was very detailed and very like 3Ds coming out and looking at us. And this was in the middle of a sun dance, and the elder was talking about, I think she called it the Chickeninas or something like that. These the principal people that would come and see, and they would use the clouds to form the faces to show up that they were, you got their attention, because the Sundance is all about getting the attention of the principal people, the energy field of humanity's consciousness, to actually make a change in their field. And there was a lot clearing in that time. Now, this foot that I'm seeing, or what I would, like, they're calling it the foot of God. Um, and the foot that I'm drawing, I got this message. Sorry, guys. I got this message about it just recently. It was to do with consciousness. Humanity's consciousness is now igniting enough for our sparks of our DNA and soul connection. So the light within ourselves is expanding more. Just of those ones that have done all of the work, shadow work and stuff like that, we're starting to really expand into grounding more of our soul. What's the soul? The soul uh, is a directness of source energy, prime creator. It is the be all, it is everything, um, from an etheric right hemisphere point of view. And when it ignites, it's like we are grounding more of God's source energy onto this planet, and it's manifesting outside of us as this big play out of of a foot kind of landing to say, if you're not in resonance with the love of source energy, you will feel my wrath. If you are, then you will be safe. And one of the big messages I was getting is, it is your frequency, it is the frequency we hold that keeps us safe, not how much we own. And this is the shift that's happening, where people are scrambling. They could scramble to get the best accommodation or best house or be in the right place or whatever. It's got nothing to do with being in the right place. It's got nothing to do with any of that. You could be in the middle of an earthquake and you won't be affected. It will just shift you into, oh, well, maybe you need to move to another country or something like that, but you won't actually be affected as in your body and your health and money coming towards you to help you or whatever, because you've held a frequency. So this is a frequency alignment and a frequency shift of us aligning more with source energy, which was what the other image that I drew, which I don't have on me at the moment, probably should have, which was of the hand holding the hourglass, because the hourglass represents us going through the eye of the needle, through that Taurus. If there's a Taurus energy that surrounds all, is source energy, creating a venture going out and then coming back in to source energy, which is right in the central point. It's like we have to go through that alignment of love of self, or alignment with love of just as source energy or God is love itself, going on a journey, align with it, to be able to not feel the wrath of what's to come, because that will shift anything not in alignment with that. Gosh. So that was one of the big messages that's coming through at the moment, for us to align ourselves with it's literally acceptance of self, no matter what. Doesn't matter if you make a mistake, if you look like a fool in front of someone or whatever. If you get a little bit angry, accept it and transmute it back to just being, I accept myself for who I am. It's okay. That was a moment I had. It's okay. Um, just keep on accepting yourself, because when you accept yourself, you are aligning with that, what I'm talking about, that frequency that keeps you safe. But if you're in guilt, if you're in fear, if you're in worry, and you hold it for a long time and you keep replaying it over and over and over and over again, you are caught in a victimized state of feeling tense and uncomfortable in this world. Then your soul won't be able to ground into your body, which is source energy, God, whatever you want to call it, prime creator, being more ignited within you to become the creator of your reality. Yeah, so that was pretty profound. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. Yeah, so really interesting messages coming through at the moment. Now, last night I had this profound dream, and if anyone knows me, I've been channeling for a few years now, and there was only one other occasion where I've had a dream of an ET that had conversed with me, and I called him Nova, because he was from this constellation where a nova star was happening, and yeah, and he was quite different in his appearance, had a very diamond-shaped head, and, he came in his ship and asked if he could help, and he gave me some messages for a wee while, but I haven't really conversed with him for a while, or channeled him through at all. But last night, I had another ET experience in my dreams. So in my dream, I was just, and I feel like this is something to do with what's going on here as we're igniting more of ourselves, the love of who we are. We are awakening these parts of ourselves that are connected to our soul's our history, and that's another thing I want to bring up, history. So if I forget about that, please remind me in the chat bar. But in this dream, I was just playing as a kid, and I was, how in dreams you kind of like, I saw myself as the mother watching as well as myself playing. And so, in other words, within my psyche of myself, I can be the one that's playing in this reality as well as the observer watching and nurturing as well. So I can be both. But then this other being came in, and she was very different. She was pale, she had white hair, and she had her eyes were, um, different. They had, like, a white outline and, then a black outline, and it didn't look panderish or anything, like it just looked really interesting. I can picture it in my head, so I tried to create an AI image of her, and this is the closest that I could get to, so you could have an understanding of what I was talking about. So we went to the I ended up going to the beach, and then she followed me to the beach, and I decided to just float. I can float really easy. I float so easy. Floated in the sea. And then she raised her hands, and I know it was kind of like a clearing or a healing even more. And yeah, it was a really interesting feeling or knowing that there was part of me that was being cleared for newer understand or expansion within myself of other lives that I've been on. The more that you connect to your soul and the more that you will remember, the more that you ignite of that soul's lineage of past lives that your soul has been on. And then it expands you into these different storylines where she was probably a friend of mine or something like that, where I can ignite parts of myself that is connected to these different beings and experiences that my soul has had. So that was really interesting. Um, and it was, and this is another reason why they wanted to bring it up with the messages for you guys at the moment. The more that we do ground that soul into us, the more you might find you're expanding into understanding different parts of yourself that was completely hidden, that you didn't even see as something that you could become in this future. And then as I was waking up, I think it was this being was bringing up. I'm not going to say for sure because if I know for sure, I know for sure, right? But I was getting these messages to do with. They were saying history. Everything is going to change because the history or his story has only been focused on that which was of the masculine, matriotic, empowered, logical mind that was empowered in our reality. That's why we call it his story. So that words will start to change because history doesn't make sense anymore when you're encapsulating the whole of humanity's um, so-called history. I can't call it anything else because there will be a whole story. I don't know what you would call it, an ever story, an all-inclusive story, an all-inclusive story. That would be a good one. So then we are igniting, and I think that this lady is part of that as well from the Atlantis age, the Lemuria age, and even further back than that. There are ages that humanity has gone on and died and then gone on and then died because there was an evolutional growth in humanity's awareness as we went through these, and sometimes we had to go through the darker times to understand the brighter times, and that was just the way it was supposed to be. But there is a lot in humanity's consciousness within many that are watching this and others out there that have ignited or understood are starting to ignite these new stories, and that it's this is what's needed at the moment is to you're not going crazy. You are just expanding your awareness to new stories coming in where you will resonate and you will know it as an absolute, because when it comes from the truth of your soul, it feels like, I know this. I just know this. I don't know how I know this, but I know this. And you might watch certain shows or something. You might even be led to certain um, YouTubes or things, and you go, "Why am I even watching it? I don't usually watch something like this." But then when they show the story, they're only showing it from the history of the male, the masculine side, and you can read more into it. You can bring more into the story because you have a better understanding, especially archaeological digs and stuff like that. Now they're bringing me at the moment to the pyramids as well, and guys, this is why this has now been known through the logical mind getting to the point where it created mechanisms outside of itself to actually find source energy within us, is literally uncovering more in these archaeological places like Geyser, like Egypt and so forth. There's going to be more than that, where they can now photograph underneath deeper and find, like, they found all those 9 pillars that are underneath, and it looks like a transmitter. And we did discuss it very lightly last time when someone asked a question about it. Transmute, they used to be able to literally, just like an avatar, their soul could leave their body and then travel to another planet and then come back, have an experience, and come back through these literal transmitters, which was the pyramids. And they had to go through many tests of facing fears and stuff like that before they could come to the peak of it and use it. But if you became really good at it, you could even, your whole body could teleport to the other uh, planets and frequencies and so forth, depending on what your soul had been in a past life, or if they had actually come from another planet. And it would take too long for them to fly back but really interesting messages. They're giving me all these different understandings. Nothing was set as in you had to travel that far through space or anything. It was a collaboration of souls coming together that worked within the craft, or the ball of light or craft or whatever. It was literally making a torus field around the craft to be able to go back to their home world. But when they had lost the ability to do that, they started to also create things that could help them on this planet. Yeah, there's a whole heap of stories that are coming through. It's not as set in concrete either as you think, because there was different types of beings with different connections and all sorts that had happened back then. Many stories could be reignited by others as well. Oh, gosh, I'm just trying not to be too confusing in this message as well, trying to be as clear as I possibly can. But it's mainly to do with humanity and understanding that new stories could be developing in our future as we go along, because we're going to see new perspectives and understandings of ourselves. That's one of the biggest messages. And then along with that, massive changes will happen and take place, because when we have a different perspective of our life and our power and who we truly are from a soul's point of view, we will not take any more shit. We just won't. We will manifest it out of our reality, and so it won't even affect us. No, if you're not a victim, then you haven't created the perpetrator. If you've fallen into a victim, you've also created the perpetrator in your reality, because it's like a split of, I've left myself as source energy, as knowing that I am whole in this experience, and so that split becomes into fear, a lack of love, and a lack of power comes with a lack of love. And so then in reflection, you split into, now I need a reflection in my reality of the perpetrator that's going to push me to the point where I no longer need to have that lesson anymore, because it will manifest outside of yourself so that it can bring you back. If you didn't have the perpetrator as a victim, you would sit and wallow, and you would never come out of that field of being a victim and feeling powerless, because you wouldn't be able to look inside yourself and go, where have I how am I self talking to myself? What am I giving to myself to make myself feel this bad about who I am? Who am I believing outside of myself to feel this bad? So yeah, the perpetrator is literally created through becoming a victim. Now, humanity, back in the times of the Babylon, when the fall happened, many became a victim to their scenario, to their story, because of specific things that took place where a grounding of understanding our physical world was being played with. And with that, a, um, a disaster had happened because we were playing in a field of a physical world, and we didn't think it would impact the etheric part of ourselves as much as what it did, because we didn't even acknowledge it as much. And then it's like, okay, now source energy says, okay, humanity is playing with this field of the physical reality that we're in now. We need to shut it off from the etheric part of themselves, that right hemisphere, that intuitive looking within self, so that they could have a really full-on experience understanding what it is uh, to play in the physical world and how it does affect them, because it's only half of who they are. So it is the other half of who they are. So there was this learning of everything to do with the right hemisphere through Atlantis, Lemuria, and then a falling away of that, where the witches were persecuted and so forth, into the masculine energy. And now we've come full circle, going into the vortex and meeting God's source energy itself, which is learning to ground, come back into central self, grounding that intuitive side within us again, accepting it as part of who we are. Huge stories happening at the moment when it comes to the awareness. There's a massive awareness that's happening for humanity, and an expansion of our awareness, expansion of just how much we need to take responsibility for everything, so that we can create this new reality and no more denying parts of ourselves anymore. So I'll get some cards as well on this. I know it's pretty out there, but we'll get some cards on this as well. Hey Dedra, hey Celtic, hey Tonyan, Liz good to see everybody. Okay, before I go into the cards, just a reminder, I am an intuitive counselor. If anyone wants a reading with me one-on-one, I'm very good at that and helping you. Also, I am going to be in New York. 17th of April, I leave. And so we have set up quite a few events. We've got another event coming as well, but 3 events are already in New York while I'm there for a month. And so if you want to visit me, actually see me, if you're anywhere near New York, and actually see me, that would be fantastic if you could come to one of those events. And yeah, so go on my website, which is codestoanewreality.com, and it's got it's everywhere at the moment on my website. So you just click into that and you'll see the events page. And you can choose which one you want to go to. There is going to be some really a couple of important ones at Bedford Studios, because Bedford Studio one, my team told me there's only a small amount of people who can come to those. There's 2 events, different dates, and they're really important for there's some sort of initiation happening. I've been led to the fact that New York was a place where they initiated people into new beginnings and so forth. There's a gathering place way back when, and the energy alignment with that, with me being there and meeting you guys, it's like soul tribes and understanding of our authentic path and our missions and all sorts will be ignited. So that's what my team was telling me. There's no it was meant to happen. It was just meant to happen. It's part of the story. And so, yeah, that's those ones. But there's also one at the library, which will be a free event if anyone wants to go to that. and another one at Raise the Light, which would be fantastic because they also have a beautiful man called Tim, who's part of this whole New York team getting me over there and helping with Sky, that's in the chat bar. And he is somebody who goes into all the logical side of the extraterrestrials and his understanding and awareness of that through learning. And then I'm going to come along with my channeling. So we're going to have this banter between us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, guys, I've got one card that's fallen out for the messages for at the moment. Look, it's the Knight of Wands, and I'm so not surprised. Like, this is taking action now. We really are, and it's starting to come in the thick of it. There's going to also, I'm feeling with this card, you need to hop on your horse because there's going to be quite a few different disasters coming. Even there's just going to be a few disasters coming because it's a shake up at the moment, and they keep on calling it the wrath. I don't even know exactly what the wrath means, wrath or wrath. Anyway, it's in my head, so it's like the wrath of God coming, and it's just literally because humanity is waking up to understanding that they are their own creator of themselves, and so with that they won't put up with anything other than that is aligning them with the true essence of their authentic self, which is love, going on a journey. So with that, you need to hop on your horse, sort of thing. And the horse representing that carries you through life, connected to source energy. And so there is action to be taken place here, though, as well. I'll see what else with the messages coming through. Very profound messages. These are not light messages. I'm not surprised that I've been kept quiet for a while, because I do get pretty profound messages. We have the Tower in reverse. See, there's going to be some disasters, but whether it affects you or not is going to be up to you and your alignment with yourself. Your understanding that you support you. The outside world will support you. Lots of people out there are not supporting themselves, and so we're shifted into the shake up of that, and we're shifting into it. So we need to understand that we're the ones that we take the leap of faith to where we want to go, so that the leap of faith doesn't shake us out of where we want to go. And the tower that falls does not affect your reality. Very orange cards at the moment too, like both of them are orange. Creativity, movement from passion, desires as well. I'm feeling into that too. Okay, we have another one that's spat out. The Page of Swords in reverse. Page of Swords. He's holding on to his sword. Why am I getting that message? And I'm also being directed to these tiny little birds flying in the background too. So the birds, they're saying, is representing the stories coming your way. To stand in your truth. You're going to feel vulnerable, because when you walk this earth standing in your new understanding of your authentic self, it's brand new. Remember, you're just a page. You're just coming into this and speak. It's not that you're needing to speak your mind and tell everybody this is who I am or anything like that. It's just holding the frequency of knowing who you are is enough. And then you will know that whatever you say and speak to people, no matter what it is the right thing to say, the right thing to do, just because you're always coming from acknowledging yourself first as that is walking your path at the moment. Okay. Thank you, Celtic, for all that in the chat bar circle. I'm in North New York on Saturday. I'm not sure to pack my big winter coat. I've got a big winter coat in my wardrobe, actually, to go to New York with as well. Okay. It's not long now, though, is it, guys? Like, It was a few months ago that everything was, looks like I'm going to New York. And then boom, now I'm going. Hello. So cool. Okay. Oh my gosh, guys, look. So the message is coming from the Tarot Act. Be aware of these disasters that are coming. Get on your horse. You have the power within you to acknowledge yourself, even if you feel vulnerable with this and speaking your truth and being your truthful, authentic self. But in saying that, many beautiful things will come your way because you are now focused on the absolute alignment of everything, of you creating the reality that you want. Meaning that you can now look, they're all looking at these cups. It's like, which one do I even choose? Like, to sit there and imagine is one thing. To sit there and go, I imagine this, I'm sitting in the frequency, but to actually see it showing up for you. This is what the hand of God is literally going to hand out. You are protected by your frequency. They keep on bringing that up. You're protected by your frequency. There is no illusion in this. Like the back of this card pack is the moon. There's no more illusions within you. The illusions have been broken through you coming into your authentic self and accepting you for who you are fully. The anger is falling, the fear is falling, the victim is falling, and with it, all of those that represent that in this reality that are holding on to it are falling as well, I'm afraid. But that's the way it goes, because this is a shift into a higher frequency. And if there are those that have already decided through their own will that they don't want to come into the higher frequencies, then they will depart somewhere or rather out of your existence. Yeah, so we have Temperance. Like literally, she's got angel wings, right? The divine authentic self. She actually has a pyramid on her. That's interesting. So igniting that body, mind, and soul together and forming that triangle of earth, sky, and spirit. And she can manifest what she wants by acknowledging the fire within her, the passion within her, and the emotions and the physical side of herself as well. She's got all of it's all kind of, I see this as emotions when it's water, but then I'm seeing it as there's a physical vessel here where this is like passions and etheric fire coming out. And it's in the middle, she's created this beautiful little seed that's growing up towards that triangle that's on her shirt. And they're showing me that sun too. The sun is sending out more rays or more fire. Like literally at the same time as the earthquake happened, we also had a huge massive solar flare as well. So that's of interest too when they're pointing out that sun coming towards us. Like my computer started to slide down then. That was interesting. And they're like, yeah, because it's coming towards you, it's shifting you, it's igniting you, it's representing the source. The sun Ra is representing source energy, God, prime creator, firing more different frequencies towards humanity to make them more aware. It's also affecting Mother Earth, making her more aware. And just like when you are becoming aware, you decide, I'm not going to have those negative thoughts anymore. I'm going to focus more on the thoughts that I really want to enhance my reality. So too does Mother Earth. And with that, the falling away of the neuron paths that you have been telling yourself negative victimized messages and all of that fell away, literally stopped within the neuron paths, broke away and made room for new neuron paths of magnificence, your magic, your power, how beautiful you are, how supported you are in this physical vessel, in this physical world. So too does Mother Earth. And so when that happens, just before it happens, sometimes there can be a bit of an uproar, like, you know, when you went through your shadow self and you had to face yourself off with the opposite, and there's an uproar, and that manifests into disasters happening around Earth where, no, I'm no longer going to do that anymore. I'm not repeating this scenario anymore. They're showing me a plane of existence within Earth that can be reached where disasters are used as power. And then they're reminding me of when I was with the Cherokee elder, and she was talking about Melchizedek coming in the form of a tornado, and he had wielded the power of that, so he could come into this reality using a tornado and then stand as a being that she talked to. She talked to Melchizedek, and everyone else ran away because they were scared of the tornado coming towards them. So if you don't have any fear, it's kind of like understanding your power enough to not resonate with the fear anymore. It wouldn't even exist in your reality. If you have fear, then maybe you should be running, because your fear, it will suck you up and, and spit you out, not nice ways, because that's what it's reflecting towards. But when we start to ignite into a powerful self, the fear, literally, you don't even have it. It doesn't exist. And so when something like that happens, it's more of a curiosity and a wonderment. It's like a child standing in the middle of a desert with a tornado coming to them, and they're playing with it, and it plays with them. It's like they play with bees and stuff, and they don't get stung because the bee represents the love of themselves and nurturing, and just wants to play with it. There's a delight. There's something to do with the innocence of ourselves, and coming into that innocence of ourselves, that we are learning to wield this in a way that we're creating a whole new existence through without fear. There is no fear anymore. So it's not like you're hiding away from it. If there is fear in you, then listen to it, because that fear is telling you you are in danger. You're like, you have the fear for a reason, because you're not in the right frequency. That's what fear represents. It is a code of not aligning with the right frequency. It's a huge lesson there as well. Yeah. Hey, Falcon. Oh, that's terrible, Falcon. Yeah. Huge prayers going out for New Mexico at the moment. Yeah, send out your love and light for those, because many want to awaken. And so we're here to awaken as many as we can, right? That's the whole point. As many as we can. Don't leave anyone behind if you can help it, kind of thing. Okay. We have the Four of Cups come in. Interesting. I'm just going to get another card with that one. It feels like there's an empty cup. There's full cups, and there's an empty cup. Like there's an empty cup here, and these ones are full, and the one behind her is full. So, yeah, no more self-wallowing on those cups that are empty. There's things that let go. And I'm going to use this as a smaller message now, because I think we've had this message a lot about letting go of things that don't resonate anymore. But it's still coming up in the field of this reading, so it has to be specified for those. But as we move into these higher frequencies, we will find less and less has to be let go of. Our reality will show up as we love it, as we love. Okay, so we have another one that's come up. Okay, so I said to have a card that come up with that Four of Cups, so it could be of your heart, something to do with your heart that needs to be let go of, a wound within your heart that needs to be let go of, so that you can actually see that which is coming up behind you. So if you have had a wounded heart recently, this next phase that you're going into will be showing you or helping you understand that that wound was showing you a specific repeating wound through past lives and this life, for you to say, I understand now why I put myself in the position to be with those people that have wounded me, because I I was literally wounding myself with my thoughts and how I feel about myself, that I'm not worthy enough of anything more, or that I need to show my self-worth by getting involved with someone who I people please all the time. There's something there for you to adjust and look at. Any more messages at the moment? I wonder if I should get another. I'll get another deck in a moment. Messages just for right now, in this moment. We have the Hierophant that's come out with 3 of Cups. Yeah, so this is the turnaround from what we was just talking about. The Hierophant to me is someone who's religious, who's grounded. Like, if you're only in your logical mind and you want to ground spirituality, it turns into religion, because it turns into a rule base, because our logical mind loves rules. It loves compartmentalizing, and it loves everything outside of itself. So God became outside of itself. So everything came outside of ourselves. And we had to listen to people that were, in this kind of religious sector that was holding on to all these rules and laws and that, because that's what the logical mind does. But I feel now that Hierophant is now showing up with the 3 of Cups to say, yes, we want to ground this spirituality. We want to really ground the source energy, the God, God self, and enlighten ourselves and our souls onto this planet. So he's literally representing that foot of God showing up in the on my phone message before, on the Facebook message. If you want to see that full video too of that Facebook message of the foot that was showing up in this ocean just before the earthquake happened, like my drawing that I did of premonitions, you go back to the beginning, you'll hear all about that. You can go on my Facebook and just scroll down and you'll find it on that. But yeah, I'm seeing this Hierophant is like, okay, now we understand God isn't outside of ourselves, He's within us, and we are finding joy and accomplishing a lot more by this understanding. It's like a new grounding of spirituality, spiritual side of ourselves, which was always there. Even though religion and everything kind of squished it and turned it into an outside thing, it was still always ever present, because that's who we are. We just weren't acknowledging it within us. And when we start to acknowledge that side of ourselves within us, that we are, creating our own reality, then we can start to create our own reality, the one that we actually want, right? And it's really due to what you're focusing on and what you're allowing and lining up to. If you watch a program that isn't aligning to it, then you got two sides to that story. You could see it as, oh, this is a fun thing. It's just a story that I'm just binge watching at the moment, but I don't see too much into it. But if you do feel too much into it and you feel like you're going to manifest it in your outside world, then be aware of that too, because I've done that before, where I've binge watched something and then it ended up manifesting it outside of myself. So if you're going to watch something, you have to realize that you are the creator. You're allowing that into your head. And so then in the end, when you're living in the higher frequencies, you'll manifest things quicker. Okay, well, we'll get an animal card and see what happens. And then I will open up the chat bar for a few chat bar readings as well after the animal cards. Any messages for right in this moment, please? It's funny how it's like right in this moment, and then that wrath of God is coming up. I think this is going to carry on for quite a few years to come. Going to go in and out. Yeah. Anyways, it's not something that's just once, and that's it. Okay, we have sea turtle protection. See, sea turtle reminds me. Sea turtle came to me in a dream and represented Mother Earth, and then she literally turned into Mother Earth in front of me. And it's called protection. You're the master of finding life's flow, be in harmony with the rhythm, and your path will unfold, preserve, and you will succeed. You have everything you need to be protected and happy. But when we support ourselves, we're automatically protected. And then we have Moose, wisdom. I'm not surprised that the wisdom card and the protection cards came out because of what we had at the beginning with the tarot, where we had the tower, falling, and I was talking about how we protect ourselves, and it's a frequency alignment, and this is coming through the Moose, wisdom. Let your head and mind reach to the stars, yet keep your feet grounded on the earth. Listen to the ancient wisdom in your soul. The ancestors speak through you. You know much. And that's so funny that I ended up having that dream with that being and alien being in the dream that's coming in from my past soul lineage to help clear even more and understand more stories. So that's so cool. Okay, guys, I'll open up the chat bar if you do want a free reading. And I'll give a couple of free readings out. If anyone wants a one-on-one reading with me, though, the link is down below. If you're leaving here, then adios. But if you keep watching these readings, there could be a message in it for you as well. Okay, let's go, Dedra. Dedra, please. Let's tap into Dedra's energy. We have the Hermit that's come up, Dedra, for you. It was on its side, so I think it's about time for you to step out of being a hermit and maybe pushing yourself a little bit to get out and be a little bit more social. The time has come to, like, literally, some of us who have been doing this work, who are star beings, who are very empathic, we have been sitting in the hermit back and forth in the hermit stage for the last few years, literally since 220, very much so. And now I know that many of us have been asked to push ourselves a little bit to get out into the public, and show and just see how you've changed. How are other people reflecting back to you? How are you uh, uh, how are you acting around other people now? There's wisdom to be carried within you as you make this next step, and you'll start to realize it's changed. Like I joined a group here, and I started to go out. I had to push myself, but I found I am a totally different person now than what I was in the past, and everything is just reflecting so beautifully back to me. I'm getting a lot more support than what I ever have, and that's because I've learned to support myself. Really important. Okay, Liz. I'll put that card back in. Thanks, Kathy. There were so many messages here today. There was, wasn't there? Very in-depth messages, like pretty profound ones that are coming through me at the moment. I just got to flow with them. Powerful. Okay, Liz. Liz, we have the Ace of Cups come through for you. So new beginnings and emotional. Yay, I'm finally getting there. um, stepping into new something. Stepping into something new that's going to emotionally satisfy you. Yeah, it's like maybe something that you've even, I don't know if it's something that you've tried before, or you might have partially tried before. And now will you try it again because you've shifted much since then? it'll happen a lot easier. The flow will be a lot easier. So this is a new start into a new emotional self and understanding a lot more about how the world really works around you, um, and how you can also master your emotions better than what you did before in this new beginning. So some sort of new beginning coming for you. If you have an idea of a business or something that you want to form or you want to have a crack at, now's probably a good time. If you've got the Ace of Cups, now's a good time to do it. Okay. Tonyan, both. We have the Page of Wands coming up for you. I'm just going to see if I can get another message for you as well. They're showing me the pillars and archaeological digs. I don't know whether you want to go into something new coming up. Because it's a page, this is you feeling a little vulnerable in the next situation that you're coming into. Where before someone might have taken something from you, stolen something from you, so that you felt disempowered, and now you're stepping back into your power. But it's feeling a little vulnerable, so just be aware that it's only because your logical mind's still niggling a bit or holding on to a little bit of something that happened in the past when you were robbed, like emotional, like could be of your power. I feel like of your power. And now you're like, I am being asked to step in my power, which is this new Page of Wands, standing in your power. But there's still maybe in the back of your recesses of your logical mind playing a little couple of tricks with, oh yeah, but it might happen again. I know I'm not going to be that powerful. I'm not going to reach, empress status or anything. Who am I? Or it's never happened to me in the past, so why would it happen to me in the future? That sort of scenario is coming up for you. So just be aware that whenever you allow that logical mind to play that out, it's literally sitting you in that frequency, which is holding you back a bit. So just be aware of whenever you do have any self-doubt as you push yourself forward in this next phase, to catch it, don't get up it, don't tell yourself off, and just go, no, not going to do, I'm not going to say that to myself anymore. I am better. I am moving into a more empowered me. And the more that you do that, the more empowered you become. It's just a natural given, because you're now telling yourself that. You're telling that story to yourself. Okay, who have we got here? Christina. If you're up in the, I'm not like, if you're in the chat bar and you've said yes, please, you might have to repeat it again. Sorry, because I'm just going with what's on the thing here. Yes, please, from Christina with a smiley heart-shaped face. Christina, 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 Christina. Christina, 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 Christina. Okay, Christina. Six of Cups. That can be a past life coming up for you that's actually igniting you now. I knew there was another card. Yeah, it is. This is a past life coming up for you. See, we've got the Six of Swords and the Six of Cups. And lots of times people will say, this is somebody in the past coming back. But I actually feel like this is you igniting parts of your soul. And all of these gifts can be coming from you igniting them. Like you're traveling now. You're getting in the boat with your swords of truth, and you're traveling to the next destination. And that destination is literally parts of your DNA lighting up, parts of your soul being more accepted in your physical body. That's what the lighting up is within your DNA, is parts of your soul. Now, with your soul comes past lives. And so you're reigniting some of those past lives. Listen to the message, if you didn't, at the beginning that I had for the general, because that's literally was for you. Yeah, you've got some celebrations coming for Six of Wands as well. That's 666, right? 666. So, yeah. 666 is an absolutely powerful number. They inverted it and put it in as a demon number because of the power of it. It is the power of going through the void into recognizing yourself as a creator of your reality and creating whatever you desire. Now you're sitting on this horse, and it's, this card is actually representing celebrations. Everybody's like, well done, you did it, good on you, that sort of thing. But 666 to me is a number of absolute creation, understanding you are source energy going on a journey, and you can create whatever you want by the way that you move through this world, how you see yourself, how you act towards yourself, and that sort of thing as well. Much respect and honor, and taking back, yeah, more respect of yourself as well, is another message that's coming up too for you. Okay, who else have we got? Horsehaven community, please. Joe, yeah, I knew it was Joe. I knew it was you, Joe. Joe is an incredible soul. She's, yeah, awesome what she's bringing, grounding onto this earth, what she will be, and she is. Okay, Joe. She's had a couple of intuitive readings with me, quite a few actually. Oh, wow. It's funny, a whole heap of cards fell out and I thought it was too many, so I put them back in, and then this other card just flung out. So it's King of Wands, standing in one's power and going, that's it, I know where I'm going now. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put it into action, and I'm going to do this. This is an absolute. I know it now. I know where I'm going. So yeah, that's either what's coming or what's definitely feeling in your vibration. Yeah, you're igniting more of your soul's lineage too. The more that you ignite this loving self, uh, is igniting that and allowing the soul to come in, the more you start to recognize yourself as the powerful being that you are, who you truly are, and what you want to actually ground into this world. And so at the moment, this is what's coming up for you. Okay, so rebirth for... Okay, I picked up the animal cards for you, rebirth for, so we're going to do an animal card for you. Just automatically. And look, the lion has come out. Look how powerful you guys are. All the cards I'm coming up with powerful cards. You have higher calling, right? Higher calling. See? We're igniting parts of our soul because we're starting to accept ourselves. I love this. You have within you all the courage you need. Let go of the past and reclaim your majesty. You will find success and contentment with those by your side. Make noble choices for your life and your tribe. Now, I'm feeling that there's people by you that now are going to reflect differently to what they were before. They're going to show up as, oh, I actually feel that off you now. I feel the power of who you are, and I respect you. Because it doesn't even matter. You don't even need them any. It's almost like when you step into this power, you will not need somebody to tell you how amazing you are anymore. You don't look for it outside of yourself. You already found it within, and it changes everything. It changes you to stepping into that lioness of yourself, or that lion within yourself, the roar of who you are. Okay. Yay, Horsehaven. Okay, who else have we got here? Celtic. I'm still holding on to the animal cards, Celtic. So Celtic, we have too many. That's just too many. And then one falls out again. Puffin, partnership. Oh, some sort of union happening for you. Accept yourself and your colorful personality. Yeah, I really feel with you a new acceptance or a new alignment with the acceptance. And they keep on bringing up with you past life that you didn't accept and now you are, that sort of thing. Feel confident about being you. You are a joy bringer. Let community nourish and protect you. Ask for help. Teamwork will give you the best result. Because of that, you can isolate yourself because of past lives where you were condemned or whatever, and so you end up isolating yourself and getting angry about the world and that sort of thing. And now I feel like you're stepping into ac acknowledging that part of yourself, and so you can actually open the door to seeing people through new eyes, seeing people through new perspective. And when you see people through a new perspective, you're allowing new relationships to come into your reality without the prickliness of overprotecting because of what's happened in the past. But I do want to get a tarot card for you as well for some reason. Yeah. Page of Cups. So someone might be wanting to offer you something. Oh, because you had the partnership, right? And offering, but you can now accept it because you're not so prickly. You can accept it now. So there's some sort of a gift coming your way in that respect. Yay, interesting. Going to help, I am going to help a friend. Yeah, but I think that there's something coming for you, right? Offering coming for you. Something coming for you. That's what I'm feeling. Okay, guys, I will leave it here. Don't forget, if you want a one-on-one soul reading with me, that's open. So the link's down below, or go to my codestoanew reality.com. I have a school called AMAKEL if you want to join in with the school. It's all intuitive lessons. I'm doing another 3 telepathic games coming up. I did the fairies, a lesson all about the elementals. Really, really good lessons in that school as well. It's called AMAKEL. It means learning to fear the intuition and Pleiadian language, and there's a lot of telepathic games on it. So if you want to join in with that, it's just a few dollars a month to join if you want to on Patreon. And I mean just a few. So yeah, that's all open and the link should be down below for that as well if you want to go join in. And I'm going to try to get the community page going so that we can have some conversations starting up. I think we need to get some conversations starting up and say hi to each other as well. So I'll keep on pushing that as well. But I'm sure that'll just do its thing when it's meant to do its thing. Um, the community page. And yeah, is there anything else I need to bring up? I think that's about it, apart from if you are in New York between the 17th of April and the 22nd of May, I am in New York. So please come and visit me. Please come and say hi. Please come to one of the events. I would love to see you there. Until next time, bye.